Ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, non-binary pals, and the technicolor rainbow in between, this is Modular Media Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, a jiggly camera, Chris Boingo Writer Gaston, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner.
The Vacuuminator, reminding you to support your local independent wrestlers. I know it didn't go off that well. It worked fine when we rehearsed, and then I didn't hit it properly.
And, hit your
like
fucking
once every
cue.
3 times. Yeah. I'll get it one day.
One day, over the rainbow. But yeah, wrestling! This is our weekly wrestling podcast where we talk about the wrestling we liked in the week. Typically...
In a week?
in a week.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, that just means AEW. Now it means a lot more.
Yeah, we watched a lot this week. I've got a little bit to say about Impact. You've probably got a bit to say about Impact.
A little bit more.
I've got a good bit to say about Raw this week.
Ooh. So what do we want to start with first? Do we just want to do the recaps of pay-per-views real quick?
Yeah, let's talk about the magical misadventures of Kenneth Omeganton.
Yeah. Basically, he's become a territory heavy champ. Like Ric Flair was back in the day. He had the big belt. He just traveled around different places. Because he went to AAA, defended the title there at Triple Mania, retained. Nice. And he went to Impact. He hasn't done anything in the pay-per-view, but I'm trying to remember. But at the Impact, Rich Swann still retained his title, and they're gearing up for that title defense. Kenny between him and Kenny, so nice.
Yeah, it was an interesting couple of days just watching all the stuff come out from these shows because I didn't have the time to watch either of the shows in full, but I did actually watch Kenny versus Laredo Kid, and that was a fucking great match. I'd highly recommend it.
The AAA have a 6-sided ring?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's right, but that was almost a week ago now, so I might not be remembering correctly. But it was a great match with a few kind of scary spots, mostly due to Michael Nakazawa not getting on cue. But otherwise, it was a good time. And then the Impact stuff was just a lot of fun because Kenny's backstage in his trailer with Dawn and they're goofing around and he's like, "Oh, Carl Anderson, you're here. Come here, buddy. Remember the Bullet Club? Hey, everybody, remember the Bullet Club? Machine Gun Carl Anderson." And then he starts making gun gestures and firing sounds like a 5-year-old, and it's hilarious. And he basically encourages Carl to go and do good in his match because the old Carl Anderson needs to come back just like the old Kenny Omega came back. And
he won a G1 Classic, didn't you know that?
Mm-hmm. It's been an interesting just time because people have also, like, just like you did, people have been very frequently going like, "Yeah, Kenny is this generation's Ric Flair now," and I'm like, dude's been a heel for like 2 weeks. Wow.
I'm more comparing the technicality of how the character functions within the world of wrestling, less the quality of wrestling. And you know what I mean? I'm talking much more of like, he's traveling around, he's a major marquee attraction for multiple promotions that they all kind of share, similar to what Ric Flair was.
Yeah, but just the fact that this buzz is happening is kind of amazing.
Oh yeah, very much so. Like, Cody was right. He's bringing about old school wrestling. It was just, we thought it'd be like, oh, 90s, Attitude Era, really cool storylines and stuff. No, he's bringing back 70s, and he's bringing back the territory system.
Cody's like, I literally want to be my dad.
Except thin and hot.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only difference. Because he has the lisp. He does a lot of the same moves. He's thin.
He's got the bleak blonde hair. He's got the fucking scar above his eye now.
I mean,
is it any wonder that Dusty is the greatest of all time, in my opinion, and now Cody, in the last year or so, has become my favorite wrestler?
Honestly, out of the whole Dusty people, I like Dustin just a little bit more than Cody, just because I feel like out of like the three, Dusty, Dustin, and Cody, to put it the best way, he tries to emulate his dad and his dad's style of doing things a little bit more. While Dustin goes like, no, I know, I hit my mic. I know, I know these basics, and I can implement them my way, which is a little bit more psychological, a little bit more. I get in your head. While Dusty and Cody were like, nah, we're just white meat baby faces.
Mm-hmm.
There's a nuance to Dustin.
I think it purely is just a taste thing because, like, I love Dusty and Cody that little bit more, but even I will sit here and go like there was a moment on Dynamite this week where I went, man, Dustin Rhodes is the fucking shit.
Yeah, and it's a matter of like 1 week it's one's one number one and blah blah blah. It changes, but like right now, my gut feeling is saying like no, Dustin's not going to get his just credits, even though he has gotten numerous credits throughout the years. But because Cody's going to be he's Dusty's successor. Dustin's gonna be a little bit. Oh yeah, he was Goldust. He was Dustin. He was the natural, but he didn't book the shows. He didn't lead the charge of AEW. He was the best wrestler of the family, but he wasn't the best force within wrestling.
He wasn't the best. He wasn't the best Rhodes OS.
Yeah, like if we're talking Dusty and Cody are like Windows. He's like a really damn good word processor. He'll do exactly one job and do it really fucking well, but he can't do a lot of them.
But Kenny Omega is also a great wrestler, and he's a champion right now, and he's doing all kinds of fun stuff. And that's
double champ.
That's all. That is all well and good, but I think
I wish he held the AAA championship with the AEW one.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he can't take it around because of AAA. Like, I think they want to keep it in Mexico. Just for, like...
Probably. But he did wear it on that one Dynamite when he fought Pentagon.
Yeah, but Pentagon's also a AAA wrestler.
That's true.
Like, I think it'd be not cool if, like, he wore both of them, or if, like, he wears the one he's defending and Don Callis holds on to the others.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually,
You know what would be great? Kenny Omega makes his return to New Japan wearing a shirt made of belts.
He just needs to have all the broom girls come out holding all the belts, like the dragon dude. I can't remember his name.
Super Dragon?
Maybe it was
Brandon
the dude.
Cutler?
No. Fuck off. It's the dude. It was the dude in the '90s who had like 19 different belts, from cruiserweight belts from like a bunch of different promotions.
The only guy I can think of, like, 90s dragon-looking dude is Jushin Thunder Liger.
No. Fuck me.
Ultimo Dragon!
Ultimo Dragon, yes! That's the guy I was thinking of, Ultimo Dragon. He needs to do that because there was a pay-per-view he did where he had a bunch of girls come out holding the belts above their head, and I was like, oh yeah, no, get the broom ladies.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. That'd be neat.
And Michael Nakazawa was just in there randomly for a joke.
But
do you need to rant?
As much as things are great in certain parts of wrestling right now, folks, they're also terrible. Not great, not so good. Really upsetting, kind of crappy, kind of not good things going on in wrestling.
Well, you got the floor.
Most of them settle around free words or free letters, those being WWE. Now, when we decided to bring this show back, I really did intend for this to not be the anti-WWE AEW is amazing show, because I was like, well, we're going to cover AEW more because that's what we're more into. But I'm going to try not to just rant about WWE every week. I'll just talk about the stuff I like that interests me. And Right now, that happens to be whatever's going on with Bray Wyatt. They could always catch my attention with something else, but this week they didn't. This week, they showed about the highest level of tone deafness I have ever seen, not just from them, not just from any wrestling company, but from any company that produces media products in general. Um, if you're a WWE fan, you should have been embarrassed of yourself this week because the first thing that happened this week, that I picked up on WWE related, was a story started going around that at last week's Raw, Vince McMahon had reportedly thrown a fit backstage about how certain bigger athletes couldn't work very well. And the names on that list included people like Keith Lee. Now, there were several other people on that list, but Keith Lee is, of course, the main draw to me because I used to be a pretty big NXT guy, at least until they went to 2 hours on the USA Network. Then I kind of burned out on it. But, like, I understand the defense that has come out for this of, like, well, if you're a professional athlete, you always got to train to get better. You always got to be working on your craft. But the thing is, if you've watched any Keith Lee match from NXT or earlier in his career, and you don't think that man can work, I have to question your mental stability. Because Keith Lee is one of the most amazing athletes for his size I have ever seen. And that's going back and watching other big guys. Because the thing I almost never talk about on these shows is I do watch quite a bit of old wrestling when I have the time. It's my go-to background noise when I'm editing my own videos. So I've seen some older stuff. I've seen some older big guys, but no one has ever impressed me like Keith Lee has. So to hear that Vince doesn't think he can work is very disturbing. And that also comes in addition with knowing that it's long been rumored that Vince doesn't watch / doesn't care about NXT, but it's like, dude, pay attention to the people you hire. After that, ahead of Raw this week, WWE put out via their social media a video package wherein a CGI living embodiment of the year 2020 comes out into the Thunderdome and cuts a heel promo in front of Drew McIntyre, basically making fun of how people aren't able to leave their fucking homes this year. And Drew, showing the most composure a human being could possibly have in reaction to this, just goes, 2020, because this is what Drew McIntyre sounds like.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
So many weddings. You've ruined weddings. You've ruined graduations. You ruined all this stuff this year. It's time someone put a stop to you. And then he gives him the Claymore, and we get a montage of a bunch of other WWE wrestlers being edited into doing moves on this CGI 2020 thing. Oh, holy fuck, where do I begin with that? Because this was put out by a company that for the longest time didn't even acknowledge that the coronavirus existed. They just moved production to the Performance Center and then carried on like nothing was wrong. Like, literally, discussing coronavirus in promos or in commentary was reportedly banned backstage at WWE for most of the year. And then, just recently, this was a couple weeks ago, but WWE was apparently given an award for spreading coronavirus awareness.
Okay,
What
fuck
the
them.
fuck?
Fuck that. You mean the company that had several outbreaks and outbursts of goddamn coronavirus within its performance center and putting its employees at risk and like, oh.
And I also mean the company that this year fired a bunch of people so that they could keep their bottom line in the face of economic uncertainty this year. And the company that basically did nothing in the reaction of a lot of their, well, not a lot, but a notable amount of their talent getting exposed for sexual harassment. Like, them putting out this video package and being like, let's cheer everybody up by showing our cool wrestlers beating up 2020. Come on, everyone, give this a retweet. Aren't we cool, fellow kids?
No, this is boomer as fuck. This is a boomer. This is for boomers to share on Facebook with a fucking minion meme.
Yeah. This would be like if I went to your birthday party, shoved my face in the cake, stepped on all your presents, and then had sex with your girlfriend, and then said, I was the life of the party, wasn't I?
But it just immediately struck me, oh, this is for boomers. This isn't, that's not a meme for kids, it's for boomers.
Yeah. It was just so tone deaf and so offensive. I could not believe it when I saw it, and it hurt me even more that the account that I saw it from was fucking Big E. Big E's normally amazing at Twitter and is reportedly an amazing person backstage. So I'm really hoping that he was just told by WWE, hey, tweet this out.
Yeah, I have a feeling that might have been it. Because remember, it is still an official WWE account.
Yeah. But that was not the end of it, because then we actually had Raw. And Raw this week was a fucking mess, dude. And I won't talk about all of it, but I'm going to talk about everything that relates to the through line of this episode, which is that the Firefly Funhouse is taking a field trip to the new WWE Thunderdome. So it opens up with a promo from Funhouse Bray in the ring with all the puppets standing behind the barricades, being puppeted by people who are Bray Wyatt. And for most of this episode, their voices are noticeably not Bray Wyatt, because this is all shit they're shooting live. So, automatically I'm put off. But then the material that they gave Bray to read, and to his credit, he gave an amazing performance. Like,
he tried.
Bray, more than anyone else in WWE right now, I think Bray can literally turn chicken shit into chicken salad. Because he just cuts this generic-ass promo, which generic for his character, because it is still fitted to the whole, like, you know, I'm sorry about what happened last week. You and I are still friends, but next week when you face off against him, who knows what's going to happen, Randy? But that's basically all you need to know about the promo. And then Randy comes on the Titantron, and he's like, Bray, so you still like to play games, huh? You're still gonna play your games and screw me over. Well, how about this? Let's have a game of hide and seek. Randy Orton in the year 2020, everyone. So Bray's like, yowie wowie, I love hide and go seek. And Bray's like, great, come backstage and find me, you bitch. So all fucking episode, we get these little skits where Bray and the puppets are just running across random wrestlers, and they're reacting to the puppets like they're real people. They're not going, what the fuck is this crazy man with his puppets? Like, there's a segment where R-Truth, who has a history with Bray Wyatt, meets Husky the Pig Boy and thinks it's Bray Wyatt's son. And then there's a segment with Matt Riddle where he tries to pitch a new segment for the Firefly Funhouse called Bronouns, because that's Matt Riddle's whole gimmick now. It has been for the last couple weeks. It's just putting the word bro in front of things. Like last year, he was backstage at catering like, who wants to have some bro nuts? And then
full fucking Simon Miller there.
I'm trying so hard not to just scream because there are people sleeping directly below me. But fucking after that, okay, one thing completely unrelated to this I do want to mention. they've been doing this whole storyline with Lana constantly losing to either Nia Jax or Shayna Baszler, and Asuka deciding to come to her aid, and they've been building towards a tag match with them at TLC. Lana got injured this week, and so they wrote her off the show. TLC is on fucking Sunday. We're never going to see the conclusion to this storyline.
Oh, no. You know what I bet?
Great.
I bet we're not going to see Lana for a couple months, and then we're going to get a fucking thing on WWE.com. Lana has been released from her contract. We wish her well on her future endeavors. And then 90 days? Oh, hey! Miro's wife is here.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that, but still, just fucking... The entire Raw Women's division has been about this storyline for like a month and a half, and now we're not going to get to see the end of it. Because Nia Jax can't fucking work safe. The best they could do out of this is give Asuka a handicap match at TLC, which, I'd be down for that, being the Asuka fan I am, but like...
She's going up against Nia Jax.
Mm-hmm. So, getting back to Bray, he does eventually find Randy, but first, he gets to the backstage area where Randy was, and he sees Sister Abigail's rocking chair, and it's rocking by itself, somehow. And he gets mesmerized by it, and he's like, what the fuck? Oh, shit. And then Randy comes out of nowhere, just RKOs him, picks him up, puts him in like a equipment-carrying trunk, and then squirts lighter fluid all over it, lights it on fire. It's on fire for like a couple seconds, and then they do the editing thing they did last week. The Fiend comes out. Randy makes his fucking Undertaker meme face, which was great. And then the Fiend just mandible claws him, and that's the end of that story. That's the go home angle for Randy and Bray at TLC.
Is it gonna be a cinematic match?
I don't know. They haven't said. It's just a regular match for all we know. Considering their history, it probably should be a Firefly Funhouse match. But fucking hell, who knows?
Here's the thing, though. I don't think WWE has ever said cinematic match.
No. They always make it some gimmick name. It's the fucking...
everyone does, but like... Outside of the gimmick name for the singular match, AEW goes like, yeah, no, they're cinematic matches. Impact goes like, no, they're cinematic matches.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else goes like, no, it's a type of match, and we give it a cool marquee name to make it fit the story we're telling, and that's about it. Jesus fucking Christ.
But yeah, that happened.
That's not even the worst part of Raw. Because we gotta talk about the thing.
No. One more thing about this segment.
One more thing?
Cool. Yeah, one more fucking thing, because...
Fuck me. God damn it. Stop doing this to me, Uncle.
I will normally defend Corey Graves and Michael Cole, because, like, I don't think Michael Cole is nearly as bad as people says he is. He's an okay straight man commentator when they let him be that instead of giving him the heel Michael Cole gimmick. And Corey Graves is a pretty good heel commentator. He's not the best heel commentator ever, but he's pretty good. But this episode, they were just fucking phoning it in, which is perfectly exemplified by the fact that while Randy is spraying lighter fluid on this equipment trunk with a man stuck inside of it, Corey Graves just very silently goes, wow, I can't believe it. He's really gonna set Bray Wyatt on fire. In that exact fucking tone. And that's all they say. When Randy actually sets it, like, and this is me comparing it to Attitude Era commentary, because there were fire spots all the time in the Attitude Era. The commentators would flip the fuck out. They'd be screaming for security and shit. No response from Graves and Cole. It's just, and fucking when the Fiend sprang out, they should have been going, oh my god, how did Bray Wyatt do that? What the hell's going on here? Nothing. Just nothing. It's...
I mean, you wouldn't have that much emotion in your voice if you were forced to watch Raw every week.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think we can give them that. It's like,
But then we had our main event, which because they just did a contract signing over on SmackDown, they made a new gimmick. The Championship Ascension Ceremony. Which is, you know how in ladder matches they have the belts on a fucking coat hanger above the ring?
yeah.
This was all about them putting the belts on the coat hanger and raising it above the ring. Even though the show isn't for like another almost a week, and they still got to do SmackDown
And NXT.
So what is? No, they're doing NXT at the Performance Center. So is this fucking belt just gonna be hanging above every segment on SmackDown this week?
I hope to do it.
I kind of hope so. But no. It's for the WWE Championship match, Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles. They come out, they put the belt on the gimmick, they raise it up, they both cut promos on each other, fucking bury each other. Like, there's cutting a heel promo, and then there's burying the other guy. Fucking AJ Styles says, "Wow, Drew, took you 17 years to become a champion in WWE. That's a little embarrassing."
Oh,
Motherfucker, it took you 17 years to get to WWE.
they pulled the thing that Jericho says you're never supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Should we explain that for anybody who's watching who doesn't know that that thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Essentially, Chris Jericho. Hold on, I was eating goldfish. Chris Jericho basically describes it as this: when you're cutting a promo, you need to be aware of what you're saying, because if you make your opponent look like so much shit, and you win, well, whoop-de-doo, you won against a piece of shit. If you make your opponent seem like a piece of shit, and you lose, then you look even worse, because they're a piece of shit. You gotta balance it.
Yeah. And they didn't do that at all. It was terrible. And then fucking Miz and Morrison come out of nowhere, start attacking Drew, and then AJ's bodyguard that he's had for a few weeks now starts attacking Drew, and then AJ joins in, and then they announce on commentary that the match is now Drew McIntyre versus all four of these dudes for the championship.
It's a handicap?
Yeah, it's a handicap TLC match. The champion versus four other dudes.
What the?
How? Why? Fuck you. Fuck Raw. Fuck SmackDown. You know what? This episode was reportedly written every part of it was specifically written to please Vince McMahon. Like, the writers have told as sources, they have told several wrestling news outlets, they have said, we bent over backwards to give Vince what he wanted this week. And you know what happened? You know what fucking happened? For the third time in a year's worth of time, Raw hit an all-time low rating. And you know what's even better? A year ago this week was the Raw where the fucking McMahons came out and said, you are the authority now.
No, what's even better? AEW Dynamite beat every hour of Raw in the key demographic 18 to, 35, 40?
Yeah.
Yeah, the only demographic that marketers pay attention to, the AEW's beating. AEW is number one wrestling company in America right now.
Dude, we're wrestling fans, so I'm not about to sit here and pretend like, oh, I'm rage quitting WWE. I'm going on a boycott.
We did that a year ago.
Yeah, I'll be back. Like, I'm not quitting, but I'm severely pissed off this week. In a couple weeks, I might be very happy about something they do, but right now, I'm not looking forward to the Royal Rumble, which is next month. Even if they get fans, I'm not planning on watching it because I have no faith they're going to book something cool.
I mean, here's the thing. Who can they get as a surprise entrance because no one's gonna fucking want to do shit with WWE right now. Because here's the thing: look at any Legends contract, and like take a second look at it, and then take a look at how AEW treats their Legends.
All the cool Legends that they could have at the Rumble this year are at AEW or fucking Impact. What are they gonna do? Ask Impact if they can borrow Tommy Dreamer for a night?
No, Tommy Dreamer is fucking. I don't think Tommy Dreamer would ever want to take another step in WWE. Tommy Dreamer, RVD, they're both in Impact. Rhino, he's in Impact. Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, they're in Impact. Any like cool older legend that they could have for backstage segments? Nah, they're in WWE. They're in AEW. Arn, Tully, Jake the Snake. Like the only ones I could see still sticking with WWE are the company men. Mark Henry, Farouk, JBL. Like they are WWE born bred. They will die WWE guys. But like, those weren't main eventers. Those aren't the
since like, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we can talk about how much we love AEW and how much it's bringing people back into wrestling and how amazing it is and how it's changing the way wrestling is viewed. But that's the thing. It's changing. This is an active process. Right now, we are still in a state where WWE is the face of wrestling to most people in the Western world. So when WWE is doing...
They got a Nintendo situation where parents will go like, "Are you watching? Can you stop playing your Nintendo, Mom? It's an Xbox. Stop playing your Nintendo."
But like fucking, dude, when WWE is doing bad, all wrestling is doing bad by comparison. And like, I'm sorry, but if you're a wrestling fan in the Western world this week, you should be a little bit embarrassed because WWE is what represents you.
Yeah.
And WWE is fucking dog shit right now. And the worst part is, I can have this rant, but guys older than me have been having this rant for years. And it's never gotten better. WWE has this ebb and flow of it gets cool for a little bit, and then it gets bad. And then it gets cool for a little bit, and then it gets worse than it was the last time it got bad. It's been that way for going on 20 years now.
Probably since the start of Ruthless Aggression.
The only way it's ever going to change is if Vince McMahon fucking dies. And I don't like publicly saying somebody should fucking die. But like honestly, if it turned WWE around overnight, I fucking hope Vince gets hit by a bus tomorrow. Because it's ridiculous to have these conversations about a thing you like. To say I like wrestling, and then to have the second thing on our wrestling show be me talking about how upset a company made me this week. It's just ridiculous.
And it's not even just like, oh, companies doing bad thing making you upset and angry. I don't even want, because like, we should never look at a company for our happiness, our sadness. Like, fuck companies. Fuck fuck them. They're rich, they're assholes. People who are upset at, like, CD Projekt Red for making goddamn Cyberpunk and, like, that whole situation, like, what the fuck did you expect? They're a goddamn company. You do not attach your worth, do not attach yourself to their idea of, like, this is who you are branding. That, like, oh, the WWE universe. That's what they're trying to do, because they're trying to limit the idea of, like, oh, wrestling is something that is universal. It's just WWE.
You never say the buzzword. You don't say, I'm part of the WWE universe. You say, I am a wrestling fan who likes WWE and also this promotion and that promotion. If you're going to put WWE first.
Because here's the thing. We like AEW. I can say pretty definitively, like, we watch it every week. We look forward to it. We look forward to talking about it because, hey, we have a podcast live show doing it. We spend our free time thinking about, oh, wouldn't it be cool if this happened? Wouldn't it be the coolest? But I do not feel that AEW is part of who I am. AEW is a thing I like.
All I thought about today at work, aside from some stuff I had to get done after work, and I was just reminding myself of every so often, was fucking how great Hangman and John Silver were this week.
And Alex Reynolds, let's not forget our string bean boy.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
But like, that's the thing. WWE wants WWE to be it. They don't want anything else. Because if there's anything else,
they are a capitalist corporation through and through.
Oh, very much. Like, they're all capitalists. Let's not fucking kid ourselves in thinking that, oh, AEW, because they're doing a couple things better than other places, is some bastion of socialist progress. No, they're not. It's Tony Khan, son of a billionaire.
I'm not saying they're socialists. I'm just saying, like, AEW is better at not being overtly capitalist.
AEW is better at not being shitheads.
Mm-hmm. Impact. I mean, fuck, any company is better at not being overtly capitalist compared to WWE. Yeah. WCW was better at not being overtly capitalist compared to WWE right now.
And even then, like, and here's the thing: there are, if we just want to talk politics, here's the thing: if you are overtly anti-capitalist in WWE, you're the bad guy. You're Sami Zayn. You're Mustafa Ali. If you're an anti-capitalist in AEW, you're a bad guy, good guy. It's throughout the board. Because look at Hangman Page.
It depends on how you play it.
Yeah, and that to me indicates just where they are mentally as a culture within the company. Because like in WWE, it's like, no, you work for the boss man. You keep your head down. You say what you gotta say, do what you gotta do, and don't fucking complain. If you complain, well, you're a dick. If you complain, you're the bad guy. You're trying to make life harder for everybody because you're trying to point out things that could be better. But if you're in AEW, nah, you're just a character. That's just who you are. There's a variety of you. That just seems a lot more healthy.
Well, I don't know. I'm a little ranted out now, so why don't you talk about Impact a little bit before we get to AEW?
So I watched all of Impact. Because you know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's just watch Impact. Some good stuff happened.
You're the Impact correspondent. I'm the punished WWE correspondent.
We need to get you an eye patch for when you do it so you can be like Snake.
There's an eye patch in the Vac Shack somewhere. I could totally do that.
But Impact was good. It was very much a follow-up of what happened last week. Playing off more of the things. Just Tommy Dreamer's story continued a little bit. Something I found interesting, and I just want to make this comparison. AEW has Miro, which is basically an influencer, YouTuber, streamer kind of gimmick. Where it's very much like how we see those kind of people. It's like, nah. Check out my shit. I'm dope. I'm fucking awesome. Yeah. Impact has a quote-unquote influencer gimmick. Like, they legitimately say on commentary, she's an influencer.
Who is this?
She was in WWE for like a brief spell.
Deonna Purrazzo?
Maybe she has sunglasses and tiny little gloves that like go like here.
Is it the champion?
No.
Okay, Deonna Purrazzo is the champion, and I'm like, well, she calls herself the Virtuosa on Instagram.
No, it's not that.
I follow her on Instagram.
No, but I can't remember her name right now. But she was like Eva Marie in WWE, I think. I don't know.
I thought she was retired from wrestling.
I don't remember. Hold on. Let me do a little googs.
Okay.
But the other thing that I kind of want to talk about, other than the fact that, oh man, Machine Gun Machine Gun Carl Anderson was fucking great this whole episode. Because
Oh, that's cool.
he was hanging out with Kenny, and Kenny was buttering him up, going like, "Oh no, man, there's only one machine gun, buddy." And it
Yeah.
was this kind of like, "Oh yeah, that's cool, that's neat."
I did watch every segment with Kenny in it.
Yeah. He had a good match with one of the members of Motor City Machine Guns. Pretty good.
Mhm.
Okay, hold on.
Are you just looking for the Knockouts division roster?
Yeah, it's not. Do. I think it's this person. Let's Wikipedia load. Yep, to Neil Dashwood.
Oh yes, I have heard of her.
To Neil Dashwood. Yeah, her gimmicks is literally just influencer, and it feels a little lazier than Miro, but it's also a different kind of thing because Miro is a Twitch streamer, you know,
Hmm.
that kind of thing. But I just found it interesting. The one thing I really want to fucking mention. Okay, we talked about Moose last week about how cool Moose was. Moose had a fucking intro. He had a suit. He was carrying the TNA champion, and he just looked like the biggest motherfucking badass ever. Hold on.
Well, it's very good to hear that about Moose. I'm glad that he looked like a badass. I have no idea if we're on the hold screen right now. I'm just talking. Uh, but yeah, good for Moose. Good for him being out there doing stuff, being a cool, good boy.
Hey, I'll be right back.
Okay, do you want
Keep
to put
them
us on the
entertained
BRB
briefly.
screen?
We can do a be right back, so give me just a second. Oh, hey,
We're back.
we are.
How
God
about
damn
that?
it, it did the thing again. Hold on.
What thing?
It flipped. My camera got flipped.
Well, dang. Live, everybody.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Fucking Moose was fucking sick. He was great. I can't like I out of anybody in Impact who I want to see on Dynamite, Moose is up there right now.
Be cool. Um, what you think of this week's paid advertisement?
It was great. I love how Tony Schiavone's just going even harder, burying and just being an asshole. It's fucking great.
You're watching Impact on Access TV. Coming up after this, a local city council meeting.
Real quick, we got to talk about the best fucking insult he did on Dynamite.
Yeah. We'll talk about that.
It was so good.
But yeah, there was another ad from the Tonys. It was great. It did some character building. Brian Alvarez made a great point last week that I hadn't seen till after we did our show. But he said that, like, they're very obviously booking it so that Tony Khan is a face in his company, but a heel in Impact. And the same thing for Don Callis. And it's kind of great.
Yeah, no, that's how they're framing AEW as heels and Impact, and like it works. It works
That's
really
exactly how you should do it. Because if this was WWE, they'd be like, fucking, no, our guys are the faces in your company. Shut up.
The only time I can see, like, a face in AEW is going to be a face in Impact. Kenny's a heel in AEW, so he's going to be an even bigger heel in Impact.
Yeah. But speaking of Kenny, there was a thing towards the end of the show.
May I correct myself? A face in AEW will be a tweener in Impact.
I like it. But there was a thing towards the end of the show where Carl Anderson and Rich Swann are having a bit of an argument.
Rich Swann's going like, hey, man, you didn't need to cheat. Why'd you cheat, man?
And all of a sudden, Doc Gallows is back. He's been out for a little bit with an injury, but he beats the crap out of Rich Swann. And then Kenny and Don are there. And they beat the crap out of Rich Swann. And the Motor City Machine Guns come to try and help. But they get the crap beat out of them. And Don's like, wow, this is great. Look at this. You guys, the original Bullet Club, you're all back together. How about I make a match for you guys? We make this reunion official. So at the January Impact pay-per-view, Hard to Kill, it's going to be Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers versus Rich Swann and the Motor City Machine Guns in the main event.
It's going to be sick. Also, best goddamn name for a pay-per-view for Impact.
Yeah, it's great. I might actually watch Hard to Kill. I'm pretty excited for that match, and I hope that this is the stepping stone towards Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann for winner takes all.
That'd be cool. Yeah, like, that should be the stipulation whenever Kenny gets a new belt. Winner takes all.
Yeah.
Because then it's a bigger gamble. And
dude, like we say this, imagine in like a year's time, they do it in New Japan, and fucking Tanahashi is the AEW champion or something.
Ooh. New Japan champ, you mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, he takes the AEW belt.
I need this Forbidden Door to open as soon as possible, because goddamn, I want Tanahashi versus, like, so many people in AEW.
Mm-hmm. I just want Tanahashi in AEW. He's such a big, nice man.
And he likes Kamen Rider
as much as I do.
Man, but just like imagine.
I'm not interested in any of the up and coming New Japan figures except for Tanahashi because he was in a Kamen Rider movie.
Give me Tanahashi versus like Brandon Cutler in AEW.
Ooh.
Nerd versus nerd.
Mm-hmm.
Tanahashi versus MJF.
Dude. I can just imagine the promo now. He's like, you like, what? Kamen Rider? What even is that like some kind of Japanese Power Rangers? Get out of here, you 5-year-old.
But no, just big, wholesome man who is the best because he is the best versus loudmouth American who says he's the best and is a piece of shit.
That would be just lovely.
Tanahashi versus Jericho 3.
But now I have to ask the question, Did you watch BTE this week?
No, I was watching Mandalorian.
You know what? For once, that's a fair choice.
Because, real quick, for people watching, this Friday, no, Saturday, we will be recording a Mando cast.
Yeah, spoiler cast on both seasons of The Mandalorian. It will air next Friday.
Because I'm catching up, they're both caught up, and we're just going to be talking about Mandalorian in general, I think. Because I have a feeling you guys are going to be poking my brain, I'm going to be poking your brain. And then we'll talk about the finale for season 2.
Yeah, we're probably just going to bounce all around with a heavy emphasis on the finale for season 2 because we will have all just seen it the day before.
Yep. But I've been trying to catch up with it because I decided last week to just go like, hey, no, I can catch up. I'll do it.
Yeah, fuck the list. We're doing a 0.5, baby.
Yeah.
They're back.
Our own bullet club.
The 0.5ers. That's our faction name.
Goddamn, that sounds like a shitty penis joke.
Yep. But the through line on this week's BTE was the Dark Order celebrating Cowboy Day in celebration of the fact that Hangman's going to be in their match. So they set up the lair all fancy, all nice, like an Old West saloon. Everybody's wearing cowboy hats. They somehow found Kurt Angle's tiny cowboy hat from that one WWF segment, and they put it on your boy. And fucking, they get Hangman in there, and he's like, no, I'm not doing this. And they're like, we just want to talk strategy, man. We got a match this Wednesday. We want to talk strategy. Come on. And he goes in there, and he sees everybody in the cowboy hats, and they're all excited to see him. And he's like, oh, fucking Christ, really?
They think this is
and
a
then
thing.
And then they're like, do you want to ride our bucking steed? And he's like, what? Do you want to ride 10? And 10 is wearing a horse face mask and hooves. And Hangman just stops for a second, like, what the fuck? Yeah, okay. And he gets on 10's back.
If you showed that clip, the way you're describing it, if you showed that clip to anybody outside of context, they'll be going like, what the fuck kind of porn is this? Isn't this the shit that just got taken off of Pornhub?
But no, he does actually get on 10's back, and they have this huge celebration, and it's awesome. Hangman completely parties himself and the entire Dark Order out. They have like a pretend shootout. It's hilarious and awesome. And he just...
We need to get Hangman and the fucking Flick 'em Up. Have you seen that board game?
I have. That'd be great.
Yeah, Flick 'em Up.
But yeah, Hangman basically parties everyone else out, and then he just gets up and he's like, all right, guys, that was great. I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye. And they're all just like, wait. Did anyone ask him to join? Oh, shit!
Dude, where's my cult member?
Exactly. But then we got another little bit in the Leva Bates Kip Sabian saga where Kip basically pulls her into a room and is like, we are having this rematch now. I will not be embarrassed any further. Sit down.
Do they say what game they're playing, or is it all mimed?
It's just all mimed.
It'd be hilarious if it was like some weird, if it was like fucking Third Strike Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm. But like Kip's doing the overmime, just button mashing thing, and Leva's clearly actually pretending to play. And Kip very quickly beats her, and she's just like, "All right, that was fun. Bye." And he's like, "Yeah, I beat you in your face. Wow!" And like immediately after he calms down, Miro's just like, you know, she let you win, right? And he's like, what? No, I totally beat her. Right, Penelope? I totally beat her. Right. And Penelope's just like, and that's the segment. It's great.
Honey, you're shit at video games. You are a total scrub.
Ooh, I like it. But then there's a, the episode ends with John Silver retaining the BTE championship. It's not a very notable segment this week. They basically just play a game where they flick Skittles at a wall and try to see who can get it closest to a certain point. Like, it was a very weird game that I'd never heard of before. Apparently, it's a thing. It's called Skits.
I feel like that was a bit that they just
I
made it up and it wasn't a thing.
It must be, because like I had never heard of this, but they were acting like it was a big deal. But John Silver is still your BT champion. I hope they let him carry that thing around on Dynamite at least once.
Yep. But I think we need a little bit of toy news before we start talking about the show Dynamite.
Mm-hmm. Well, unfortunately, Matt Cardona is not here, so I'm going to have to take this one, folks. So Jeremy Padour of Jazzware.
It has a limited appeal, but it is keeping it real.
I wore this shirt today for a reason. We're on the toy grind, folks, but Jeremy Padour of Jazzwares, who some people don't notice, he back in the day when Jakks Pacific had the WWE license, he was in charge of that line. So this guy has like street cred in wrestling figures. But he's the head of the AEW line, and on Saturday he was just like, "Hey guys, this week there's going to be images of Series 3 finally." And we were all like, "What?" And then a blurry image leaked out of the case, and we were like, "Ooh." And then on Wednesday, finally, he just dumped everything and went, "And the pre-orders are up on Ringside."
Fucking
also,
great.
There's a second run of Series 2. Still no word on when the second run of Series 1, which he said was happening back in I think it was March, he said that was going to be a thing. But here's the second run of Season 2. And let me just double check right now. Live, everybody.
Yeah, live.
Wow, it's taking a bit to load. Yep. They are still all up for pre-order on Ringside right now. So if you missed the original pre-order for Series 2, now is your second chance, and get in on Series 3 while you can. Because Series 3 is going to consist of ya boy Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, Pac, Riho, and new Young Bucks figures in new gear with new face sculpts.
And I saw people complaining about that, and it's like, what the fuck? You get multiple Spider-Mans in multiple waves all the time. It's a thing that happens. They're popular wrestlers.
Yeah. I think it's just people wanting more tag teams really fast, and they don't understand that this is still a new line. Eventually, they're probably going to make tag teams its own subline of multi-packs. But right now, they've got to fit everything into little waves. And the thing about action figure production that a lot of people don't get if they're not regular action figure collectors, a lot of figures reuse parts from other figures in order to save money. And because they want the sculpts on this line to be as accurate to the way the wrestlers actually look as possible, that means we're going to get some people back in the line pretty regularly. And when it's the fucking EVPs who are the current tag champions, I don't think it's that much of a problem. And hey, even if you do have a problem with it, look at it this way. If you have the Series 1 Young Bucks and you don't particularly feel like you need another set of Young Bucks, this is 2 less figures you have to buy. That's how I'm looking at it.
Also, the first wave Young Bucks are a novelty gear. It's not like their typical normal gear. And some people might have been put off at that version of the Young Bucks because they go like, I want a kind of evergreen Young Buck.
Yeah. And like, here's the thing. For me, this still isn't the evergreen Young Buck. I'm waiting for them to do the Young Bucks in the money tights. Ooh. That's Young Bucks when I think of the Young Bucks in my head.
See, here's the thing. I think of the Young Bucks in the multicolored, like, kind of patchwork tights. That's my evergreen Young Buck, and this is pretty close to that.
Yeah. But they're very good looking figures. Let's just go down Series 3 real quick and talk about them. Of course, we got to start off with your boy Orange Cassidy. I think the soft goods are looking a little baggy on him, kind of Ken-dollish, but I think that's just these photos. I think once we get him in hand, it'll be fine. And I love the amount of hand options he comes with. He has a fist on the hand to do the orange punch. He has a set of calm open hands, and he has a set of flat open hands, and they pose him in the packaging, putting one of his hands in his pockets. That is choice.
And here's the thing: the fist has a differently molded thumb, so you can do the thumbs up.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a fist, but it's not like this. It's like this, so you can do the thumbs up.
It's so good. Oh man, you gonna get a pre-order in on that?
I don't have the money for it. Like that's going to be one of the like I want to get it so bad because Orange Cassidy's my boy.
All right. Here's the thing, and I'm saying this live on air because I need to be committed to it. I've been thinking about it, and I said it was going to depend on what you said tonight. These figures have been impossible to find for most people in the wild. I have never seen one on a peg. Orange Cassidy is one of the most popular wrestlers working right now. So this figure is going to be extra impossible to find.
Yeah.
If the pre-orders are still up when I get my next paycheck a week from today, or maybe even the day before, because I have Christmas Eve off. So usually when we have a day off, they give us our paycheck a day early. I will not just pre-order one for myself, but I will pre-order one and address that pre-order to you.
Dude, you don't have to
because you fucking need to have that figure, dude. He's your guy. You gotta have your guy.
He's one of my boys.
Mm-hmm. But I will make that happen for you. I swear it,
dude. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. But moving on down the wave, we have Darby Allin, and Darby Allin is the first one in this wave with a chase variant because you have the normal version of him, but then you also have the version of him that is when he challenges for a championship, where he has the extra extravagant body paint with champ written all over him and the different skateboard.
We're probably not going to see that one for a while. That in real life, that version for a while because he is a champ.
No. You may never see that figure in person unless it just pops up at a local toy store because oh boy, those chase variants are just showing up so randomly. Like sometimes people find them on the peg, sometimes people get them from ringside, sometimes they don't. And you can't choose which one you want from ringside because these are randomly inserted into cases because they are numbered. Like I think the Darby one is the one you find will be one of 1,000 in existence.
Right.
So yeah, but Darby himself, I think he looks pretty good. The face sculpt is a tad off in my opinion, but not so much that I'm put off by the figure. And like another little criticism is just like, and this is just they're new to doing this. They have to get used to more realistic paint detail. I don't think the body paint fades as well into his skin color as it probably should. It looks kind of like just a clean cutoff, and I'd like it more if it was like kind of smeared and fading into his skin.
Yeah, I think that's more like mid-match Darby. Early on, like when he's doing his entrance, it is a little cleaner.
That's fair. But he looks good. Love that he comes with a skateboard. Definitely want to get Darby if I can.
I wonder what the scale is on that skateboard, if you could like use a tech deck or something like that too.
It's probably like slightly smaller than a tech deck because these are true 6-inch scale. And I have the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Dino Charge Black Ranger, which is true 6-inch scale. And I got a tech deck for him because he didn't come with a skateboard, and that's a character that has to have a skateboard in my opinion. And the tech deck looks just a bit big on him. Not so much that it's egregious, but it's like noticeable if you're staring at him.
Okay.
Then we have the Bastard Pac.
I love the second head.
Yeah, he's got the second head for the mid-match with the hair all down in his face, which is great. Also, he's the first figure in this line to come with a chair. That chair is a wholly new sculpt for that figure, which is exciting.
Nice.
Like we have a table because of the little bit of the bubbly set, but no chair up until this. So
no chair. We still need a Brian Cage is the first one that gets a ladder.
Yes. But if you're collecting this line and you haven't bought wrestling figures before, you need a chair. You gotta get Pac. So it's great. I also love that he's a pretty looks like a wholly unique sculpt to me. So he's probably going to be a little smaller. He's a lot buffer.
Pac is a weird shape. You have to make a brand new sculpt for his body. Because, like, name another wrestler in AEW who has Pac's body shape. The only one I can think of is John Silver.
John Silver, Fuego del Sol, but I don't know if he's signed or not.
Because it's shorter, it's a little bit more stocky, but it's very wide, it's very muscular, it's very Dorito.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the wrestlers do have that kind of triangle shape because that's what they aim for. But like, no, this is like triangled.
Yeah. But then we have a figure that I'm of two minds about, Riho.
Okay.
Because on the one hand, yes, another female wrestler. Yes, we get the women's championship in the line. Yes, Riho. I like Riho. I hope the pandemic ends soon for a lot of reasons, but one of them is that she can come back to AEW if that happens.
Bring our Joshis back.
We want Joshis. We want Joshis. Get that trending. No. But this figure reuses a lot of parts from Brandy, and I don't like that. Because Riho should be like at least a half a head shorter than Brandy, and it doesn't look like she's gonna be. In addition to that, I think the likeness is a bit off, like even more so than Darby. And then her chase variant, it's kind of a crappy chase variant in my opinion, because it's a different head sculpt, and instead of the belt being packaged different from her, it's packaged on her. And that's it. That's the only change.
Doesn't she have more like hands? Does she have like 2 more hands?
No, she has the same amount of hands either release.
I could have swore she had more hands.
I think I saw more hands. I'm gonna go look at the pictures real quick.
I am too.
It looks like the regular version has more hands.
What the fuck? That's weird.
Yeah, because the regular version, she's posed doing this and smiling, and the belt is up next to her head, and then I see a calm open right hand, a left fist, and 2 grabbing hands for either side. But on the chase variant, she's in the same pose, but she's got a stern expression, she's wearing the belt, and I see the is that a left or no? That's a right fist and 1 grabby hand. So I don't know what's up with that. But like, that's a 1 of 1,000 chase variant, and I'm not a fan of that because that's not interesting. That doesn't make for a cool figure on its own point. Yeah. And also, I'd rather she come with that alternate head sculpt as a swappable part, because like. Yeah, Riho smiling is great. That's how I put her on my shelf. But if I'm doing figure photography, if I'm posing her like she's in the middle of a match, I want her to have the stern expression. And now, I'm not going to be able to do that because finding that figure is going to be next to impossible and godly expensive if you do. And also, like, I don't know about any other people out here, but even as a guy who's mainly into figure photography these days as a collector, I'm not going to open any chase variants if I ever get chase variants. Chase variants would be the ones I get to keep in the box and get signed. Like Cody has a chase variant. I want to track that down so I can go to a Dynamite and get Cody to sign it.
Yeah. I'm looking at Riho. She looks fine. I don't think the face sculpt looks... I think the big thing... I'm looking at the big smile face with Riho. I think the big thing is they straightened her teeth in the sculpt.
Yeah. And it's a little flatter than it is real life. Like, racial jokes aside, Riho's got kind of a round face. And here they made it round, but they flattened it all out.
And that may just be... It looks like Riho.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Riho. Like, I can see that and go, that's Riho. But I can see, like, it's not 1-to-1. And that may also be because they had they only had so much reference photos and scans and stuff before the
Mhm.
pandemic hit, and she couldn't come and do
Well,
anymore.
they face scanned the entire roster at the first All Out.
Okay.
We know that as a fact. But yeah, I don't know. I'm probably still gonna get Riho if I can get a pre-order in or find her in the wild. Because it all depends on what's still up for pre-order when I get my paycheck next week. Because I had no money for toys this week. This was the week I bought all the Christmas presents. Um,
And I'm looking
but
at Orange Cassidy with his jacket and the shirt. I think it's mostly just because it's bunched up under his hand doing the pocket.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I'll probably still get Riho. She's just a bit of a disappointment. Not a huge disappointment, but a bit of one.
I'd say it goes from
Um,
like a 10 of like, fuck yeah, Riho, to like an 8. It's like, yeah, it's pretty good Riho.
mhm.
It also doesn't,
And
like, it's weird giving her the Chase variant because she doesn't have any other costumes. She only
like
has one ring gear.
the only other thing I could think of you doing for a Chase variant is giving her her entrance code.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
but we also have the Bucks, who we already talked about a little bit, but like they look fine.
I
It's the
think
same exact sculpts, but it's the updated skin tone and
that's the Jaguar
different.
gear. That's their Jaguar gear, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I think. That's the gear they wore in the Stadium Stampede, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because those are Jaguar colors.
Yeah. But now they've changed it so Matt has kind of like a screaming face, and Nick has like a fucking maniacal grin. Weirdly. Which is funny because in their first release, Nick just had like or Matt had to like a straight face, and then Nick was freaking. He's doing that.
They're doing their entrance faces.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, as it goes, I feel like I have to get Orange Cassidy. You have to get Orange Cassidy. Darby, I want, but I won't be pissed off if I miss him because I know that we're probably getting another Darby at some point.
Oh,
Um, Pac is very much take it or leave it for me. Like, I like Pac. I want Pac, but I don't need Pac. Riho
don't let
is
Pac hear
I will
you.
get her. Yeah. Riho is I will get her if I can, but I wish she'd been better. And the Bucks are full on. I'm skipping them just because I'm happy with the Young Bucks I already have.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, if I was gonna get another set of Young Bucks, it would be them in the money tights.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And this definitely feels like, I don't want to say it's a lull wave because you're getting big Darby, you're getting big Orange, the next big woman, but it's like with the
This
Bucks
is
there,
them.
it feels like they're kind of going like, okay, we're slowing down just a little bit so we can gear back up for some more stuff.
This is them going from look, it's the whole fucking AEW toys for AEW. Look at all these amazing wrestlers who are action figures now. To okay, we're a toy line.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some repaints. We're gonna have some mid carders. We're gonna have some high carders. We're gonna have some stuff. Some stuff's gonna go on. It's gonna be fine. Series 4, we already know Sammy Guevara is going to be in it. We've seen the 3D render of him, but we don't know the rest of that lineup. And we also have no idea when that's coming. These are coming in January. Series 4, we don't know when it's coming. And supposedly, Series 4 is going to be like the last wave for a little while. And then the line is going to like kick into high gear at the end of 2021 because Jeremy Patower has said like the AEW roster keeps growing and changing so fast that at the rate they're going, they couldn't keep up with it. So starting in like November, December next year, they want to start doing a new wave every month.
So it's basically we're stopping down. I'd imagine they're trying to find a better factory, more factory.
Yeah. Because there have been a few QC issues here and there. Like, people thought the skin tone in Series 1 was too pale. I thought it was fine. But they fixed that. And then in Series 2, they accidentally made Dustin Rhodes and Jon Moxley too big.
That's adorable.
Like, they were the size of Big Show compared to regular figures.
That's adorable, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's adorable.
I'm still going to get those figures because I like those guys. But, yeah, that's a big old boo-boo on their phone.
Yeah. But also gearing up and having more figures on a regular basis will probably fix the
The
giant hole
scarcity
in
issue.
every Walmart I've ever stepped in. I have went and looked.
Yeah.
I have only ever seen the belt and the ring. That's it.
I mean, literally half the shit the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast tweets out right now is just, look at this empty ass Walmart. Look at this empty ass Walmart. Not just AEW, but there's no WWE figures on the shelves. Until just this week, Matt Cardona finally found a Walmart that was fully stocked, and he's like, it's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah. And here's the thing: every place I've been to and I've seen WWE figures, it's the same figures. They're just peg warmers right now.
Yep. So hopefully things turn around in the wrestling figure world very soon.
Yeah. But real quick, I just want to mention something. We've been going on for about an hour and 20 minutes, and we haven't even started talking about Dynamite.
Oh my god. What a big episode this is.
Yeah. So, should we start the boom?
Well, you gotta light the fuse, and then you can bring the boom. I know the lyrics.
I know, I was trying to make a boom with my mic, and it didn't work.
Here, let me. How's
Nope,
that?
that didn't, nope.
Wow. Wow, microphones. They're not the best tonight. But
Yeah, that didn't
Dynamite
work.
opens up this week with Hangman Adam Page, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds versus Hardy Party. This match was a lot of fun.
Yeah. But it was also one big angle. Two big angles.
Uh-huh. Yeah, very good character building for both sides, because the fucking Hangman and the boys, they come out in cowboy hats all coated up and big badass boys, and Hangman's like, I'm kind of impressed. They actually tried. And then fucking the match actually goes really good for them for the most part. And there's a moment when the camera cuts to Hangman and he's smiling. He's like, holy shit. Wrestling is fun. I forgot about that. So that's happening. And all the while, Matt Hardy is completely walking all over Private Party and just getting himself put over. There's a literal, like, this match ends with him blind tagging in and stealing the pin from one of them.
Yep. And that's just great because Matt Hardy's slowly been doing a new version of Big Money Matt, the best way to put it. And it's been really good. I've been enjoying it.
He's the iconic Matt Hardy. He's the Matt Hardy who goes, I've been around for fucking ever. I've done all this shit. I'm the best. I've done so many great things. All of you all should be kissing the ground I walk on. And he's trying to hide it from Private Party. He's trying to keep them believing that he's a good guy who's trying to help them. But eventually, that's going to crumble.
Well, speaking of crumbling, Jericho's belief that MJF is a good guy because when I got fish in my mouth, I just was like, yo, that's a really good fucking segue. I have to fucking do it.
Hey, you got crumbles all up in your mouth right now.
Speaking of Crumble, there's a really good indie game I played the demo on Steam. It's pretty fun. It's called Crumble.
Awesome.
Content, everybody, content.
Yeah.
Okay, so Alex Marvez is interviewing Inner Circle, saying, "Hey, MJF, that's a cool plaque. What's it for?" And he goes like, "Hey, New York Times said I was one of the year's best performers for Dinner Debonair because I sang really good and it was fun and interesting." And Chris Jericho's sitting there is going like, "Yep, they didn't mention me once. I came up with that. I was in there." And MJF's going like, "Yeah, no, Chris, you're beautiful, Chris. But anyway, I'm great."
Mm-hmm.
It's just a good Inner Circle segment. It was fun.
Yeah. Like, a great thing about this week's Dynamite is it kept that same quick pace from last week where it's very constant match, segment, match, segment, match, segment. It's flowing together so well. I don't think everything in this show was as high a quality as last week, but it had the same pace, which I really appreciate.
Had the same pace, but it didn't have as much substance, which, considering we were eating like a 15-course meal last week, that's kind of a good thing.
Yeah. You gotta have your just okay episodes so you can have your great episodes.
I actually went and read that thing that they talked about Dinner Debonair on New York Times. They mentioned Chris Jericho. They basically said, despite other people in the segment, MJF shined.
Wow.
It's fucking great. Like, they just went like, no, Chris Jericho's shit. MJF is great.
But should I talk about the thing now?
Talk about your boy.
The thing that the boy himself spoiled? Because I've talked about this before back during the old MMWP, but Cody Rhodes has one of those you can text your fans accounts. So I still have that. He's muted right now because I just got tired of just getting advertisements for Dynamite. But literally, I hadn't started watching Dynamite yet, but 7 minutes into the show during the Hangman match, he says, "Stay tuned to Dynamite after this next match for a very personal, exciting announcement from Brandy and I." And I'm like, what is he talking about? Is Brandy getting the match with Jay? No, he wouldn't say it was personal and exciting. Oh, she's pregnant. Like, literally, it took me 2 seconds. So we get this very nice video package of Cody and Brandy decorating their Christmas tree, and they're the happy couple, and they hear their doorbell ring. So they go to answer it. Nobody there, but there's a package right there on the what do you call that? Welcome mat. So they pick it up, they open it. It says to Cody and Brandy from ? So since nobody else did it, let me be the one to say it. The ? From NWA Power to AEW confirmed.
Monrovia. Did they ever say who was actually under the mask? Was it the dude?
No. Power got canceled before they could. Damn COVID. But so they open the package, and there's a tiny pair of baby booties in there, and a little note that just says, "We are expecting a baby due in 2021." Camera pulls out, they kiss, pulls out more, and we see that Pharaoh is wearing a bandana that says "Baby Security in Training," and he does not look happy at all. That is the face of a dog that goes, "I am no longer going to be the center of attention."
Nope.
But that was very nice. That was very sweet. Congratulations. You know, I think of anybody on the AEW roster, Cody and Brandy are the best poised to be amazing parents. Like, I don't know anybody who works there personally, but seeing them as characters, I go like, yeah, Cody and Brandy would be a great mom and dad.
Until Shaq shows up.
Yeah. Speaking of which, that was my initial reaction to this, and then I just went on Twitter. Man, every time AEW tries to get something off the ground with its women's division, IRL shit just comes in and goes, nope. Because that match between Brandy and Jade ain't happening anytime soon now.
No, but they've also framed it in a way that they can kind of transfer it to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And we do get some of that in this episode, but I just found it hilarious that, like, last week they had this big segment of Shaq being like, yeah, Cody and Brandy, it's going to be great. And then this week, fucking damn.
She's crackers.
Yeah. And another thing I thought about this, because did you watch Sammy Guevara's vlog last week?
Nope.
So Cody is a regular fixture on Sammy Guevara's vlog, and Brandy's been showing up trying to help Sammy with his image. And so they had an opening segment on Brandy's vlog, or on Sammy's vlog this week, or last week, sorry, where the camera's on Brandy, and she's like trying to hype up Cody. She's going like, "Come on, this is gonna be great. Come on, you said yourself, we need to spice things up in the bedroom. We need to try something different. Come on, it's gonna be great." And he's like, "Okay, it's fine. And she says, so tell me who you are. And you turn the camera around, and Cody's wearing Fuego del Sol's mask. And he goes, I'm Fuego. And what are you going to do to me? I'm going to give you the DDT. No, what DDT? The Tornado DDT. Yeah, let's go. Wow. And Brandy starts opening the door, and and in the best comedic beat I've ever seen, Cody goes, oh yeah, sex. Like he forgot they were going to have sex for a second there. So, in kayfabe, Cody and Brandy's child was conceived in kinky roleplay sex.
Question, why isn't he on BTE? He was on BTE all the time.
I guess just because he's enjoying being goofy on Sammy's vlog more, and also he's a very busy man who's about to get a lot busier.
No, it just feels weird. It just feels like once AEW started, like, he's never associated with them at all anymore.
I mean, he does pop in from time to time, but it's very rare.
Yeah, it's just weird.
It's like they might as well go and special guest star Cody Rhodes whenever he shows up.
Yeah.
But that was a thing, and they all come out to the ring together for Cody's match. Brandy's wearing a dress that very overtly shows off the slight baby bump she already has, and Arn's there, and he's like, oh, look at you two. This is great. I remember when you were just a little boy, Cody. Yay.
Dusty would be proud, all that kind of stuff.
Yep. Justin Roberts introduced him as the future father.
We're not going to get any shots of Brandy anytime soon, are we?
They'll all be virgin.
She won't.
But then we got Cody Rhodes with Arn Anderson versus Angelico with Jack Evans. This is a great match.
Oh, yeah.
I love this match. Like, just pure white meat babyface stuff from Cody, fighting out against all these crazy high-flying and submission moves. Made Angelico look like $1 million.
That spot when he was grabbing the rope with his mouth, fucking great.
Like, TH2 should always be a tag team in AEW, but I couldn't help but think while watching this, like, damn, Angelico could have a damn good singles run if he wanted to.
Oh yeah, here's the best thing about any of the tag teams in AEW: all of the tag teams you could say that about every single tag team.
Yeah, but
the only ones I think you can't really say that are the young ones, which is like Top Flight, the Acclaimed.
But that's because they're still developing.
Yeah.
But the match is over fairly quickly. Cody wins with a pin after a quick Cody cutter. And then Team Taz comes out, and Taz is on the mic. He congratulates Cody on becoming a dad, and then very sarcastically starts making fun of him for becoming a dad. And then Ricky Starks takes the mic, and he complains about Cody getting a congratulations for becoming a dad when he and Brian never got congratulations for beating Cody and Turtle Boy. They acknowledged the meme. They called Darby Turtle Boy. That's great. Just pure classic Healy stuff. And they threatened to put Cody on paternity leave early. But then Sting comes out with his bat, and he starts coming after Team Taz. Powerhouse Hobbs just starts walking towards them like, yeah, I'm going to fuck this old man up. And the rest of Team Taz has to drag him away, which is such good character work.
I want that. That is Powerhouse. That's fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck is this boy? I'm going to fight him.
Sting takes out his bat. Real quick, you should know, there's been a reoccurring bit on Sammy's vlogs the last couple weeks where Sammy's just feeding random jobbers to Powerhouse Hobbs. He beats them up, takes their iPhone, and the first time he was like, never had one of these. This is cool. I have an iPhone now. Second time he's like, I have 2 iPhones now. And then the third time they subverted it. Sammy thought he was feeding the jobber to Powerhouse Hobbs, but he actually fed them to Audrey Edwards. And she comes out and she's like, yeah, who wants some? Who wants some? That's what I thought. And she walks off and then comes back into camera, hands the iPhone to Powerhouse and is like, this is for you. And then just walks off. And he's like, damn, I got free iPhones now. This is great.
It's fucking
Like,
so
that's
dumb.
yeah.
Uh,
But Sting takes out his bat. He points it at Darby, like, "Come on, motherfucker, let's make this match." And then he just turns to Cody, winks, and walks away. And that was Sting on this episode.
Okay, real quick. Don't advertise Sting anymore. If this is what Sting is going to be doing, do not advertise him.
Or at the very least, don't advertise him until he actually has a match.
Yes. Also, I kind of don't want to see Sting next week. I want it to be a little special now. We've had like 3 weeks of Sting to kind of build him up and embed him in the universe. Breathe.
You know what they should do? Give Sting the holidays off. But during the holidays, build a TNT Championship feud with Darby and somebody else. Get to that match, and then have that match. After it ends, Sting comes out and goes, I got next.
You know who it should be? Powerhouse Hobbs.
Oh, obviously.
Because A, they already have a feud building. B, Sting already has a feud building. So, like, day of, pay-per-view, whatever. Team Taz is cheating on Darby. Sting! It's Sting! He's even in the odds! He's in Darby's corner! And it's this big fun moment, and you see just Sting to fucking Brian Cage, and it's fucking great big shit moment. That's what you want to see. That's what I want to see with Sting. But also, I love how he keeps building the storyline with Cody that he is going, where Sting basically doesn't acknowledge that Cody's grown up. He still sees Cody as like that 10-year-old kid running around backstage WCW.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey, man, no, dude, you're a kid. I'm protecting you.
Like, here's what I think they should do with Sting, as far as matches go. I think he should have a trilogy with Darby Allin that ends in his retirement, but in between all those matches, he should have a marquee match with another star. One of which has to be Cody, because they're already building it. And another you could do with somebody else who you could say it's a dream match. I can't pull anyone off the top of my head, but like, give one other guy to run.
I want it to be someone younger who's going to be in the business for a little bit more, for a good while, bit more. So I'm thinking Moxley? Moxley's already main event title, but main eventer, but like...
No, he needs to elevate a mid card.
I'm trying to think of who would be cool to see, because like...
Let me just say the dumbass answer. Sting versus Orange Cassidy.
That'd be interesting. I'd at least love to see a promo thing involving the both of them.
No, Sting versus Jungle Boy would be great, but they're both face, so that wouldn't work.
Yeah, but you could do the honor sportsmanship kind of angle behind it. MJF would be interesting, because MJF kind of has that old school Ric Flair flavor.
Yeah.
I've dealt with your kind before all the time. The wheeling, the dealing, limousine riding son of a guns.
I mean, if you're ever going to do it, if you're ever going to do it, and it's not going to happen because he's under a WWE Legends contract, but that would be the time to bring Ric Flair in as MJF's manager, if you're ever going to do that.
Yeah. Well, and I could say, like, oh, it's a member of Team Taz, but, like, who would you give that rub to?
Maybe Ricky Starks?
Yeah, but, like, Ricky Starks is getting himself over with promos. Powerhouse Hobbs is getting himself over. Brian Cage is getting himself over. Like, none of them need...
Sting versus Hook is not something I think anybody would be excited about.
I don't want... Like, here's the thing.
Dude. Sting versus Lance Archer.
Yeah. They also set up a feud earlier on Twitter. That'd be fun. Have Jake the Snake go like, "Hey man, what are you doing out here? We're the same folk. We're old dogs. We're old dogs. We shouldn't be biting. All we got left is bark." You know.
That'd be good.
Lance Archer would be
Uh,
fun.
but
Pentagon.
ooh, that'd be
Sting
great.
versus Pentagon.
Skelly boys going right at it.
It's just like, oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Um, but we need to keep moving on because we're fairly late now.
Yeah, yeah. It is past midnight.
Mhm. So you want to take this next segment?
Yeah, so Alex Marvez has a backstage interview. He's gotten really good at those. I've really been enjoying Marvez as
Yeah,
interviewer.
he's quickly becoming their Mean Gene, and I love it.
Especially because like everybody was shitting on him first couple commentary when they were in pre-preview era.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand. I can agree to that, but like he is really coming into his own as the interviewer.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But he's backstage talking to Miro, just going like, "Hey man, what the fuck happened last week? You attacked Orange Cassidy, you got a fine." And Miro goes like, "Nah man, I don't got a fine. I just got money being owed to me by Orange Cassidy. Basically, I'm not paying that. Orange is paying that."
Yeah.
That's really cool. He went full YouTuber and was like, "I don't care about nothing but likes and subs."
Fucking just great.
Views.
Heel shit.
Yeah. It only is heel shit to us because Jesus Christ, that like no one else would give a shit. But
Because
people,
we're the kind of YouTubers who hate that we have to say that.
yeah. And he's like, "No, I'm gonna be blatant, asshole. Like and subscribe." You know, that kind of shit.
But then he did something really cool where he said he was going to break the internet, and then he put over the fact that he was having a match on Dark next week.
Put over a match on Dark, and then
More
a
people
match.
need to do that in their promos.
Yes, and then another match on Dynamite. He was like, "Oh, like yeah, no, I got double match. It's gonna be great." Basically said, "Yeah, we're also gonna make an announcement involving Kip and Penelope." So I have a feeling it's the date of the wedding and the bachelor party.
No, he said that.
Yeah, it's
He said it's going to be the date.
Yeah. And then Alex Marvez basically is like, "But don't you feel bad about all the people you beat up? I mean, it's almost Christmas. What about them and their families?" And he said, and Miro went, "Bah humbug. You know what day that is? It's my birthday. Think about me for a second."
He called himself Jesus, and he looked so happy. I couldn't help but smile when he just goes, "It's my birthday," and then walks off camera.
Oh man, happy Miro Day.
Happy Miro Day.
I'm glad that they didn't have to like overtly. I think maybe that might have been it, because people are going like, Miro's not doing anything really big and impressive immediately, and I was like, yeah, it's fine.
You know,
I like he go.
I was just going to say, if they're ever going to do a Miro Day joke on Dynamite, you should do it next week and just say, it's not Christmas, it's Miro Day because it's my birthday.
Yeah, that'd be fine. But no, it was a simple little thing. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Miro is really good promo. Also, he had to get a new haircut, so his hair is not dyed blonde anymore.
Yeah, but he was just so charismatic in this and great, and it's like, what the fuck was WWE thinking, making that guy talk in an accent and
I mean, he still
Russian
has his Bulgarian accent, but like,
but he's not speaking Russian all the time, and he's not doing all these cliches. Like, he's charismatic on his own, and it's so great to see that.
Yeah, he's good. He's just solid. I'm so glad Miro's in a place where he can do more things.
But after that, we go to the ring, and Eddie Kingston comes out. He's got a mic. We were told ahead of time that he wanted to address his enemies. So he just gets on the mic and he says the fans can cheer him or boo him or do whatever they want because he doesn't care. He says he has a lot of enemies, including God, Pac, Lance Archer, and then immediately Lance Archer's theme hits. He comes out, starts beating him up. Butcher Blade and Bunny come out to try and help, but then Death Triangle come out. And importantly, earlier in the promo, Eddie had been like, "Oh, Pac, that guy, his career's over. I fucking killed him. He's gone back to England."
Yeah, he has a neck injury.
And then Pac's just immediately there, like, fuck you. I'm going to kill you now. And so they start beating the crap out of everybody. The family starts running off, but Eddie's kind of cornered in the ring with I think it was Pac. And then Lance Archer comes in and starts beating him up and kind of brushes Pac to the side. And then they start fighting over who gets to beat up Eddie. And while they're doing it, Eddie gets away. So they stand tall, but clearly there's some friction here. I like it.
Because remember, all of these people are heels. They're not. No, there's no nary a good guy in this feud.
Yeah, it's like a presidential election. You got to pick what is the lesser of two evils.
And it just so happens it's a Gordy bastard.
Mm-hmm.
No, this was fun. It was cool. Pac looks like a. AEW does a really good job, because other people don't do as good a job at this, of making their smaller wrestlers still feel imposing and intimidating to bigger wrestlers.
Yeah.
Like, if I see Pac versus Lance, I'm never going to think, oh, David versus Goliath. It's just, no, it's Pac versus Lance. Even though Pac is like 2 feet shorter than Lance.
Dude, you know what you just made me think of? My mind immediately went to, oh yeah, remember when Daniel Bryan came back from injury and like his second ever storyline back from injury was him versus Big Cass, which was just short jokes, the feud.
But like, here's the thing. Like, smaller wrestlers, certain smaller wrestlers, Darby Allin is always made to look like a David. Because he is thin, he's wiry, and that's the point of his character. But Pac, he's short. But he's a big motherfucker.
Yeah.
Same thing with John Silver.
You don't put Wolverine up against the Juggernaut and then go, he's short, he's not going to win.
No. He's fucking Wolverine. Mm-hmm. But like, yeah, no, it's fucking great. It looks good. I'm hyped to see what's going to be next. But then we had a secondary of your boy cutting the promo, saying like, hey, fuck you, and your offer to join the Dark Order. Yeah, I got the 7 joke. It wasn't funny. And he basically said like, yeah, no, I beat your ass, and next week I'm going to beat another one of your asses. Fuck you.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to go for the Dark Order 1 by 1. Last week it was 10. Next week it's Evil Uno. And we're just going to keep going. It's going to be great. Holiday Bash, I'm fixing to kick your ass. What a great closing line.
Yeah, it's good. It definitely feels like Dustin is there every week to help other wrestlers do stuff and learn and that kind of thing. But he's also doing matches because they're solid filler matches. Mm-hmm. Like, you know it's going to be good television. But also, like, it can be a sort of very, very slow, simmering storyline. That's not really a storyline.
Yeah.
It's time
he is helping the Dark Order keep pace right now until Brody Lee can get back.
Yeah, because they can keep getting matches and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then we had a change in the match because who was it that got? Someone got sick.
Wardlow had family issues this week. That's what they said on commentary. So we get the Inner Circle, which is everybody but Wardlow. So it's MJF, Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager, Santana, and Ortiz, versus the Best Friends and Friends, which is Trent, Chucky T, the Top Flight Boys, and Brandon Cutler.
Which
and
Brandon
Orange
Cutler
Cassidy is on commentary.
Best gags. No, Brandon Cutler got cut out because Wardlow got cut out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So in the match was Best Friends, Varsity Blondes, and Top Flight. And this match was basically, here's a showcase for Varsity Blondes and Top Flight.
Yeah. And then a big old fight spot and stuff happens. It's kind of crazy. It's all right. Like, the most notable thing about it to me was just JR putting over Garrison and
Brian Pillman Jr.
Yeah, he was putting them both over big time on commentary because he's like, Brian Pillman Jr., his dad's great. Look how great he is. This guy's going to be a huge star. Fucking Griff Garrison, this guy's a young Edge. Like, he didn't say Edge, he said Adam Copeland
He
because
couldn't
Edge
say
is a
Edge.
WWE copyright. But,
But
like,
we all know
if
who
you're in the
Adam
know,
Copeland.
you
Yeah.
know.
Like, I get it, but here's the thing. The second he said that, I immediately went like, oh shit, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, he has that
And
look. He has that kind of manic energy to the way he moves. It's great, but also something that just like in the back of my head was kind of like a heartwarming thought. Chris Jericho was friends with Brian Pillman,
mm-hmm.
and now here he is, Chris Jericho wrestling Brian Pillman Jr.
It's great.
Keep
and then the other notable thing about the match is it ends with Jericho hitting someone with the bat. No, he hits Griff Garrison in the spine with the bat, and then Hager picks him up, does an F10, and then MJF blind tap. No, he's like, Hager, come back, which clearly that spot was meant for Wardlow, but he's like, get back here. He tags himself in, and then MJF gets the pin without having done anything.
Yeah.
So more MJF chicanery trying to subvert the inner circle.
But then Top Flight also had like a little post-match beat-up segment with Jericho and MJF.
I think so. No, Jericho and
Guevara.
No, it was Jericho and MJF.
Yeah.
Because they set up a match with them later.
Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, let's put some shine on the new talent who's getting over. Like Top Flight's getting fucking over. They got T-shirts now.
Yeah, and they're T-shirts I want. Like,
yeah,
that is a great design.
Yeah, no, here's the thing. AEW is like, I'd say 8 for 10 on T-shirts. Like 8 out of every 10 shirts are pretty damn good. Some of them can be a little chunky.
I'm gonna pull up the ones they put out just before this week's show real quick. It's gonna take me a second because we're live streaming and my internet's a little slow. But I'm pulling up Shop AEW New Arrivals right now because I have that bookmarked. And let me just go down the line real quick as soon as this comes up. Okay, so this week we got a new Cody shirt, which is Cody Rhodes and then the American Nightmare, and it's like a chromey version.
Yeah.
I like it. I already have a Cody shirt, but if I didn't, this would be the Cody shirt I'd get.
It's simple.
Then we have a Wardlow shirt, which is Mayhem Unleashed, and then like a cartoony version of Wardlow that's his shirt is ripping apart, and like a crosshair is over his shoulder, and then Wardlow.
It's okay.
Little over designed in my opinion.
Yeah.
Then we have Powerhouse Hobbs, and Powerhouse is coming down the side. Hobbs is underneath him, and it's just this perfect blue tinted picture of him going. Argh.
Yeah, and that's like a classic feeling retro-esque design. It feels like an R&B album cover.
Mm-hmm. Then we have Top Flight shirt, which looks like either the logo for a sports team or like the design you'd see on the back of a pilot's jacket. I love it.
Yeah. And it works. This is really good.
Mm-hmm. Then we have Matt Sydal, which is like some weird kind of tie-dye hippie shit. Is Matt Sydal a tie-dye hippie? I don't know anything about Matt Sydal.
I think
it's a fine design, but like I don't care.
I think that's kind of been his character on the indie scene. Is kind of like relaxed, chill bro dude.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm not a Matt Sydal guy, so I wouldn't get that anyway. But then also this week they put out a zip-up hoodie with the Dark Order symbol on it, which I kind of want. It's nice. It's subtle. But yeah, that was their releases this week, and you can see like it's a good mix of stuff, good mix of quality.
Yeah. But good match. Really put the shine on a couple guys. Good number of guys. That's what this match is for. We had another backstage. What?
I'm sorry. I thought I was doing this one.
I'll do it. Fuck it. We had another backstage interview. Alex Marvez talking to Thunder Rosa. She's great.
Who still isn't signed, but is getting a push in AEW. Kind of crazy.
I mean, I think that's kind of what AEW wants to do. Is just we'll push people as we have them, and our guys are going to be long-term back burner booking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we will focus on them when we focus on them, but, like, we got Thunder Rosa here for like a couple months. Let's just use her as much as we can.
Yeah.
You know,
Um,
so she's going like, "Hey, you don't think I belong? Fuck you. I'm great. I belong everywhere."
Talking to Britt Baker.
Yeah, talking to Britt Baker. Rebel comes in and goes like, "Hey, don't talk about my boss that way." All that kind of jazz, distracting Thunder Rosa for Britt Baker to get in a pot shot, and then
Yeah, she jumps her, puts in the lockjaw.
and Britt Baker just keeps on just insulting her, going like, "You don't belong here. Fuck you." All this kind of stuff. Was it a tweet or was it in this where Britt Baker was complaining about? No, it was a tweet. Britt Baker talking about how she's the face of the division, yet she still doesn't have a toy yet.
Yeah, and Jeremy Padawer retweeted that, and he's like, "Yeah, we probably should fix that." So potentially Britt is in Wave 4.
That'd be cool. Which Brit would it be though? Early face Brit or current?
Considering when they did the face scans, it would probably be early face Brit, unless unless Wave 4 has been held back so long because they were changing that and maybe something else.
Maybe, but they also then took some water and washed Thunder Rosa's face paint off, which I wouldn't say it's to the same level of trying to rip a luchador's mask, but like there's kind
It
of
has that feel.
there's an unwritten rule. You don't purposely wash off a wrestler's face paint. You don't do that with Darby. You don't do that with Dustin. You don't do that with Thunder Rosa.
And importantly, all during this bit, while Britt's attacking Rosa, she's going like, "Oh, you're ugly. You have an ugly face. You broke the camera because your face is so ugly. Let me expose how ugly your face is for everyone to see." Which you could go like, that's old like WWF era woman's booking kind of promo shit, but like I think it builds into Britt's delusional heel character extremely well because I don't know if you've seen any of Thunder Rosa's modeling photos, because Thunder Rosa does modeling even when she has her face paint on, but especially when she doesn't have it on. Thunder Rosa has one of the prettiest faces of not just AEW's roster, but any women's roster right now, in my opinion.
I think the only modeling-esque photo I've seen of Thunder Rosa is when she was teasing the internet wrestling community about, "Oh, am I gonna join WWE?" And she had written on her ass AEW, WWE, NWA, and she was just like going like, "Ha!" and she gave herself a smack. That's I think the only thing I've seen.
Yeah, but then in addition to that, and this is just my personal preference, and this is not like an indictment of Britt Baker, but like of anyone on that roster, I think Britt is probably the closest to being a butthurt face.
Ooh.
So like fucking Britt going like, "Oh, you're ugly. Your face is disgusting. You're gonna break the camera with that face," is kind of hilarious heel booking.
Yeah. But other than that, like it was just a good beatdown segment. I wish Thunder Rosa didn't sell it as hard, just because she was like just knocked the fuck out.
No, she was selling like a champ, but she didn't need to be.
Yeah, no, I would have preferred of her like start trying to get back up. She was just knocked out for what she was put through. It felt like too much.
Yeah, the final shot is her lying there like they fucking killed her.
Yeah. And that's not to say that she did a poor job. It's just more of like someone should have noticed. Because that's how you sell a beatdown segment. But it wasn't a full beatdown segment. It was, we're gonna fucking manhandle you for a moment segment. And that's a minor quibble. That's like very minor.
Yeah. But it was a decent promo, furthered the feud a little bit. Hopefully we get that match sooner rather than later.
Oh, yeah.
But after that, we got SCU versus the Acclaimed. And,
the Acclaimed,
dude, I think they single-handedly got the Acclaimed over. Because this opens with the Acclaimed, because this is their gimmick, is during their entrance, they do a diss track on the people they're about to fight. They've done this in every one of their matches for as long as they've been the Acclaimed, even on the indies. So they come out and they start cutting a promo on how Kaz and CD are has-beens. My favorite bit is when he goes, "Christopher Daniels, we call you CD. You're an outdated format." Oh, that was great. Caster gets on the fucking entrance ramp, sits down, holds down a CD that is a photoshopped thing of the Bucks and SCU called Nickelbuck. I fucking died at that. Um, but then Kaz is like, okay, I've never done this before. But then he fucking annihilates them with a diss track. And like,
Here's
you
the thing:
could say
his insults were better, but it was not on beat. It was not good
he was,
rhyme.
you know what? He was doing the Jesus Christ is my N-word cadence. You know that video?
Yeah. But that kind of evens it out a little bit because like yeah, he had better
People were
insults.
saying he buried them, but I'm like, no, he was kind of on the same level as them.
Yeah. But even then, they had a good match, fun match, really interesting foreign object spot with the boombox, which is
Yeah,
not a boombox; it's a Bluetooth speaker, but we're gonna call it a boombox.
because that's the gimmick.
Yeah,
Uh, but the Acclaimed win, and they immediately start cutting a diss track on the Bucks, and the Bucks were like, "Fine, you get your title shot next week. Let's go."
let's do it, boy. And
Yeah,
that's gonna be fun.
it's gonna be great.
You know, the Acclaimed look like a fucking great fucking team.
Yeah, like I was a little like, okay, Top Flight are cool workers, but I don't know if they're the next big thing after their match. I'm on board with the Acclaim now, and it helps that I've seen them on Dark before.
Yeah, the acclaimed are gonna be the heel versions of the best friends.
I could see
Reliable
them,
angle workers. You know what I mean?
yeah, I could see them being on the level of Private Party in like a year's time.
Yeah. But like, yeah, it's good to see the acclaim. They're still building the like tag division is stacked, and they're just keep building it. They're just making it better.
Speaking of which,
We have a backstage interview with Top Flight where they basically go like, "Hey, yeah, no, yeah, we purposely went after Chris Jericho and MJF because they're assholes, and they have the credits behind them, and we're young. We gotta prove ourselves. So, what better way than fighting the two biggest dicks in the locker room? So next week, MJF, Chris Jericho versus Top Flight. That's gonna be fun, especially because MJF and Chris Jericho, when they're heels, wrestle a very methodical style,
yeah,
and it's gonna be
it's
fun
gonna
seeing
be.
Top Flight get out of everything. Yeah.
Hmm. Oh, I'm excited. But after that, we got Ivelisse and Diamante versus Serena Deeb and Big Swole.
Swole.
Right away, I have a fucking criticism of this match, and it's JR, because JR goes, "Oh, Serena Deeb, the NWA Women's World Champion. She is, for my money, the best worker in the entire locker room." I'm like, wow, JR, way to fucking bury your own champion.
Yeah. But
But that's not to say that the match itself was bad. It was just like, that's a terrible call. Like, you could say she's a great worker, you could say she's one of the best, but don't say she's the best when she's a champion for another company.
yeah, but she's also an AEW signed wrestler. She just happens to be holding a belt for another company.
That's true.
There's nuance there, but Jr. did not speak that nuance. But they were trying to get Big Swole over more as a submission specialist because she's been training with Dean Malenko.
Yes.
Fuck me. She has a new submission finisher, the Clearwater Cloverleaf.
Clearwater Cloverleaf. What was his version called? They said it, but I'm not familiar with Dean Malenko, so it didn't stick.
I don't remember. It's probably as far as I remember, it was just a Cloverleaf.
Okay. Well, yeah, she wins with that finisher.
Yeah, and Clearwater's a place in Florida.
Mm-hmm. It's where she's from.
Yeah. Almost as if like that's 90% of wrestlers' gimmicks is where are you from? Oh, I'm from Canada. All right, cool. That's 90% of your personality.
Okay.
How? Where are you from?
I'm
I'm
Red
from
Hart.
where I'm
I'm
from.
Red Hart.
I'm from
Go
I'm
ahead.
from Panama. Florida? Yeah, Panama, Florida. All right, cool. You're the Panama Kid now. Okay.
Uh, but after the match, the Vicious Vixens come out.
SCU.
Yes. But after this match, the Vicious Vixens come out and start to attack the winners because this whole thing is built out of that Jade Cargill attacking Big Scramble backstage twice in a row thing. And because of that, Red Velvet comes out and makes the save with a chair. Red Velvet finally gets to do something on her own. Good for her.
Yeah, and hopefully, like I assume you're about to say, hopefully that does more happen because Brandy's pregnant.
Yeah. And like I really think like maybe not next week, but the week after, we should have like full on Red Velvet versus Nyla Rose. Because the big thing I noticed from this spot was when Nyla got to the outside, she immediately looked up at Red Velvet like, this bitch can go. Let's go.
Yeah. I wouldn't want Red Velvet to win that, but I would want it to be like a hard competitive match, and then Nyla squeaks a victory.
Give me fucking Sheeta versus Nyla at Double or Nothing level, but different finish.
Or give me Cody versus Darby 1.
Ooh, yes.
Give us a time draw finish. That'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm. If you did something like that in the women's division, like a time draw, a towel throw, any kind of weird finish in the women's division, that would suddenly make a lot of people stand up and go, oh, they're doing shit.
Yeah. But if they did a time limit draw, that's an unusual finish, but it's also not a screwy finish.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes both of them look fucking tough and strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want to talk about next thing?
I was gonna say this is you because we're going back and forth.
Okay. So we got a segment with the best friends, basically responding to Miro, going like, "Hey, congratulations on making the announcement. Guess what? We're gonna be there. So look forward to that." Basically, with the implied, we're gonna fuck with it.
Yeah. And another great ending line for a promo, they are festive as hell.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
It's great because Chuck E.T. was also like hyping up their holiday shirt. The best friends and Orange Cassidy are like some of their biggest merch sellers, I believe, right?
Probably. Yeah. I would be very surprised if the answer is no.
I mean, Orange Cassidy, definitively, yes.
Mm-hmm. But then after that, we get a video package for Jurassic Express, which I was expecting something like those In the Woods narrator packages from way back when, but it's just like, here's them hitting a bunch of moves at past shows, and then we get announced that next week they're going to be taking on Colt Cabana 5 and 10, which, yay, Dark Order getting more stuff to do, yay, Jurassic Express is finally back on Dynamite, but like, kind of a clunky way to introduce it.
Yeah, I don't know why they haven't been. Maybe it's just like, hey, we want to focus on these guys. Are you okay being on the back burner?
Yeah, cool. We'll do shit on Dark. We don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it may also be remembered. AEW is very much, you gotta bring ideas to the table. And that's what TH2 was saying, is like, the reason we haven't been on Dynamite is because we didn't know how to pitch ideas. And maybe that was a similar thing with Jurassic Express. Hey, we don't... They may have been uncomfortable trying to pitch these kind of things.
That's true.
Like, I think that can be a situation with a lot of wrestlers that we go like, oh, we haven't seen him in a bit. Maybe they just go like, they're in a feud. I can't just say, hey, put me in a feud with fucking Cody because, like, he's the big... Like, you know...
Like, what, like, imagine fucking, who's a young face that's on the back burner right now? Imagine Scorpio Sky just going like, hey guys, you got Sting? Let me fight Sting!
Yeah, like, to an extent, that'd be cool because they're both Scorpion themed. It's like,
yeah.
That'd be fun.
That would be the extent of the pitch.
We're both Scorpion themed. Yeah? I mean...
Can you do a Scorpion Deathlock?
I mean, it's just isn't it just, what is it? Sharpshooter. It's a sharpshooter, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the joke.
Yeah. But then FTR come out and a brilliant
They come
seemingly
out. They just appear at the commentary table and take the
yeah,
mics.
it feels really unplanned. It purposefully so. It feels like they just bum rushed this thing and like stole a mic and was like, "Yo, fuck this shit. We're tag team specialists. Why the fuck are you putting these guys over? They're a joke. They're a novelty act. We
Like,
we are the big dogs."
how long have they been teasing that feud now? I'm so impressed that they haven't just pulled the trigger on it yet.
I mean, FTR has been in the middle of things, and like they just did like the epilogue of it all, of them going like, "Hey, no, we all fucked up there. Let's get back on the horse," kind of thing. So I think this is like the first feud to start building FTR back up to that title scene, and we're probably going to see Jurassic Express pull an upset a little bit and be like the first non-Buck team to win over FTR and go like, "Ooh, Jurassic Express has something," and then go up and have a more lengthy feud with the Bucks.
Yeah, and like, man, I gotta give credit. They all did a great job on this promo. I saw some people being like, "There's so many tag matches on this show. How can they complain that like the tag division is a joke?" That's the point of the promo, guys. They're not booked, so they think the tag division is being treated like a joke because they're heels.
Yeah,
And I especially love like the extra character bit of when Dax gets on the mic. He's like, "Do you think this is a joke to me? This is how I feed my family. Book me, motherfucker. I need to get paid."
yeah. And like you're putting on this guy dressed as a dinosaur, some Tarzan knockoff. Why are they getting paid when we aren't? And that's like interesting character work in its own right. Because remember, every great villain is a hero in their own story. FTR feel like they've been mistreated. They got to scrape by for every opportunity they can get. That's FTR's character.
But then we get a quick announcement for 2 more matches next week. Hikaru Shida is going to be in action. No word on the opponent yet, but just to make a prediction, squash match. She's going to take on and quickly defeat Danny Jordan, and then immediately Abaddon's going to come out and they're going to have a confrontation. And then also Pac versus the Butcher next week.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I don't know who she's gonna. I would prefer it to be a more 70-30 kind of match. 70 for Hikaru, 30 for the other. Like, let them get some things and build them up a little bit. But I would love what I would love to see is Abaddon come out, and Hikaru Shida just goes like, "All right, fuck you. You've been fucking with me for a while. Fuck you." And then Abaddon attacks, and it's a brawl.
That's what I meant by confrontation. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I want Abaddon to attack her because it's like, "Oh, you're not scared of me anymore? Let me show you scary."
For context, Danny Jordan has been on Dark forever, and I'm saying it's going to be her because they just did Tesha Price, who's been on Dark forever. I would imagine they go for her just because she's like the heel Tesha Price. Tesha Price is very much nice preppy girl because I've done some research into them since Tesha Price was on Dynamite. Danny is basically what if all the Mean Girls subsumed into one person. Like she literally has the book from Mean Girls and that's her gimmick.
But yeah, no, next week's gonna be fun. Pac versus Butcher's gonna be fucking meaty.
Bro.
Big meaty boys.
But hey, you got the main event.
The main event wasn't very long.
Yeah, it was like 10 minutes.
And it was a basically like hardcore match between the bad boy, Joey Janela, and Kenny Omega. And it goes about like they do a couple big spots, garbage can, that whole kind of thing.
Like I love that just as Kenny's making his big dumb entrance, Joey Janela is just like, "No, bonk," with a trash can. Bonk. That's great.
It goes on for a little bit. But eventually, Kenny Omega, V-Trigger, B-Trigger, One Winged Angel, 1, 2, 3, end of the show kind of thing. But then Death Triangle pops out, and Pac has the mic going like, "Oh Kenny, you think this is over?" And it's like, "Oh no, you don't got. I got beef with you. Yes, we got unfinished business. But we got other unfinished business. You see, Rey Fenix here never lost in the tournament, and then he got replaced, yes, but he never lost." You need to beat him, because he, in another timeline, like, he may have become the champion. So you need to prove that. And Kenny's going
like the great thing about this is Don Callis is on the mic, and he immediately goes like doing the heel manager thing. He's being like, "Okay, listen, buddy, maybe you don't know this, but wrestlers don't make matches. The champion makes the matches. You're not the champion. Shut up." And Pac's just like, "Yeah, I talked to Tony Khan before I came out here. It's happening on January 6th.
Yeah, and it was great. They had a great moment. But also, I think this was the segment where Tony Schiavone gave the biggest fucking, greatest fucking burn to Impact ever.
Yeah, because Don Callis comes out and he's like, "I'm doing commentary. Get the fuck out of here, Schiavone." And what does Schiavone do?
No, get the fuck out of here. Mm-hmm. This is my job. But the segment, the line I was thinking of.
Go ahead.
The line I was thinking of is like, yeah, Kenny Omega really increased their views. Impact had 1 viewer. Then that week they had 6.
So good.
It's so fucking petty.
It's great.
Tony Schiavone has to be channeling all of that late WCW hate, anger, and anxiety into these like Impact promos, because this is too vitriolic for one night to piss him off that much.
Yeah, and just like Don Callis is also great in this segment, because he can't get on commentary, so he just grabs a live mic and starts going, "And an elbow from Kenny Omega, by God, and a tope suicida, by God."
and Excalibur's just under his breath. Oh, the best one. Don Callis goes like, "Oh, no one kicks out of the One Wing Angel." Kota Ibushi. Fucking the current IWGP Heavyweight Champion?
Oh my God, dude, I had it wrong. It's not gonna be Kenny versus Tanahashi. It's gonna be Kenny versus Kota.
Yeah. It's going to be Kenny versus Kota. But like, oh my God, they talked about Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, and fucking, like, it was just so great, especially because, like, Kenny does get a mic too, and he starts trying to do some color commentary, but he's so wore out from the match that he can't. But then after Pac comes out and, like, announces that they're having the match, I got it wrong, it's not January 6th, it's December 30th, but he announces that they're having the match in 2 weeks, and the show fades out on, like, Kenny throwing a tantrum in the ring. Going, "What? You can't do that! What's the no!" And it's
just great. Let me have my belt.
Uncle Don, you said I wouldn't have to defend it ever.
God, Uncle Donald.
But that was Dynamite this week.
It
was not on par with the last 2 weeks of Dynamite, but it was still pretty good.
Yeah, but like, dude, we don't need fucking banger shows every single week. Some weeks we need a breather. Because this let things breathe. It gave things room to wiggle and move, and
like you know, something I've said in the direction of a certain fellow named Hunter a bunch of times in the last year. If you do pay-per-view level cards every week, people get burned out.
If you do pay-per-view cards every week, what the fuck's a pay-per-view card?
Mm-hmm.
You know? That kind of thing. But, yeah, that was wrestling for this week. Pretty solid, pretty good. B+.
Very full, very, very crazy week.
B+ if we're grading on a curve, not including WWE. But if we do include WWE, brings it down to a C, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been talking about a thing for the past couple weeks on this podcast here. A little project that I initiated and dragged this guy into. So, recap for everybody who may be watching. AEW announced, hey, we're doing video games. We're doing this whole big live stream to announce all the things we're doing. And Evil Uno, in the lead up to the live stream, was basically tweeting out, hey, I want my Wacky Races game. Give me all these fun things. And one of them was, hey, John Silver dating sim. And you put that in your Discord server because that's where we usually talk. No, I put it in
yours.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, you did in mine.
Video games.
Yeah, video games. This is how it usually breaks down with Discord with us. If we talk about wrestling, it's in his. It's pretty much anything else in mine.
Yeah.
I think it's just because there's a lot more people who are active in mine, and by a lot more, it's like 3.
Yeah, and you don't have a wrestling-specific chat.
Yeah, because it's like me, you, Buster. Yo, shout out Buster.
Hey, what's up, Buster Core?
Cody, who is our 3rd member of Analocal Fanboys, and another old friend of mine from college, Destro, Max. He pops in every once in a while. He's not as active as everyone else. But you posted that, and my mind immediately was like, we could fucking make that, bro. We could make that. Write a script. So this man here wrote a script.
In 3 days, I wrote 3 chapters.
And then this man right here started writing a program and a game. And boy, that's a lot longer than I thought it would be.
Yeah, much like making videos, you can't predict how long making a game will take.
Oh yeah, no. But I can predict how long it'll be till it comes out. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we have a release trailer. Are you ready, Sir Vacuuminator?
I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Dream Johnny. Releasing January 1st, 2021. Dream Johnny! Coming out January 1st, 2021. The first game of Modular Media, ModMed Games, our games division apparently is that. I guess that's how we're going to divide it.
It's a thing now.
It's a thing.
We're not just a podcast anymore.
We're not just 2 podcasts anymore. But yeah, we've been working on this for a little bit. It's our first project for any of this. It's an amateur writer for a script. It's an amateur programmer. It's not going to be great. It's a shit post. That's what it is. But
it's written. I specifically wrote it to be like a goofy fanfic.
Yeah, it's goofy, but we tried to put some heart into it. I tried to make it genuine. We both tried to make it genuine because the way it is he wrote a lot of script. I'm kind of touching up some bits as I'm putting it into the program. But yeah,
and it's not a detailed dating sim, but it is a dating sim. There are branching paths. There are different endings.
Multiple choices. Yeah, 3 major endings. Maybe 4 depending on how I get programming done. Just depends. But yeah, January 1st, going to be released. It's going to be on itch.io.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to do pay what you want. So basically, it's going to be free. And if you want to throw us some cash for just like the effort we put in, fine. Throw us $1. You don't have to.
And keep watching this show and follow us on Twitter at the Modular Media for updates on the game as we have them.
Yep. This isn't going to be the last game we make, because I already have
No,
a
no,
couple game.
this is just the beginning.
Because I already have a couple game ideas I want to work out. I'm not anywhere to the point where I feel comfortable announcing anything. It's just more of like, I got ideas. I want to work on some projects on my own.
He's been sending me pitches, and I've been going, I could probably come up with something for that. Maybe talk to Cody about helping you with that one.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. I definitely want to do the last one I sent you, the one with the videos and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it'd be super easy to do. But yeah, that's Dream Johnny, the John Silver dating sim. That was also the first time you saw the trailer. It's not super complicated. It was just a simple little trailer, but
It looks good. It looks like how you should sell a dating sim. I'm excited about it. I think you picked the perfect release date. And I'm going to go ahead and tweet out the trailer on our account right now. I am adding Evil Uno and John Silver, but if anybody's watching this back, feel free to send it to them yourselves, because who knows if they'll see it from us, but we want them to see it. I would love it if Evil Uno got to play this on a stream.
yep. But yeah. So that was Modular Media Wrestling Podcast and another Dream Johnny fucking update. So real quick, Fac, tell the people who you at.
I am the Vacuuminator, the man with the super mega plan at this point. I guess that's what I am, because, folks, I finished the Megaforce rewrite. It's done. I'm shooting the video. I'm shooting the video this weekend. I'm not gonna hold myself to it, but I would really like if I could release the video on Christmas morning. We'll see. But that is a tentative thing that's happening right now. I've still got to do the Super Mega Force rewrite, and beyond that, who knows what's happening with my channel? I've got ideas, I got plans, I got things that are up in the air. But you can always find me at youtube.com/thevacuuminator. That's spelled TheVacuuminator. You can also find me on social media, Twitter at The Vacuuminator, and Instagram, _Vacuuminator, for some action figure photography that I do. And that's pretty much it for me.
Hey, howdy. I am Chris Boingo Writer Gaston. I do video essay, editorial kind of things on the YouTubes. At Boingo Writer. You can fucking search me. God damn. What's wrong with me? I have a Twitter. It's Boingo_Writer. I have an Instagram, Boingo_Writer. I use Instagram a little bit more than I use Twitter. But, you can also join my Discord server. Link to that is in the description. We talk about a bunch of fun junk over there. Join, hang out. Let's do it. But this was a production of Modular Media. A collective worker cooperative done to just help create things. Create creative things. We help each other
Sharing
out.
resource and knowledge.
Yeah. And this is Modular Media Wrestling Podcast. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and click the bell. We're live on this show.
All that stuff that Miro likes.
We're live on this show every Thursday. Usually it's between 9 and 10. That's when we start. Today was a little later just because we had IRL things we needed to deal with. But, yeah, that was wrestling for the week. Any last words, Vac?
Words cannot describe how excited I am for people to actually get to play Dream Johnny.
An unofficial AEW fan game. All right. See you next week, guys.